What if the biggest thing holding you back right now isn't your circumstances, your habits, or even your mindset? What if it's a story? A story you've been repeating for years, quietly, automatically, without ever questioning it. A story that whispers things like, "I'm not enough. I always get overlooked. No matter what I build, it never works out." Most people don't even realize they're living inside a story. They mistake it for reality. They think it's just who they are. But here's what I learned after 33 years as a process engineer. Every recurring problem has a root cause. If the same struggles keep showing up in your career, your relationships, or your goals, you don't have a motivation problem. You're living out a limiting belief that was never true to begin with. Today, we're going to uncover that hidden story. And once you see it, you will never look at yourself the same way again. My name is Thomas. For more than 3 decades, I fixed broken systems, diagnosing failures, eliminating waste, restoring production. But in my own life, I had the illusion of progress. I kept repeating the same self-sabotaging patterns. I'd set a new goal, get excited, make progress. And then, like clockwork, the momentum would collapse. I thought I needed more discipline, motivation, willpower. But eventually I discovered the problem wasn't the goal. It was a subconscious pattern running underneath everything I did. And once I found it, the baseline of my entire life began to change. In storytelling, there's a concept called a through line, the invisible thread that connects every chapter of a book. You don't always notice it, but it shapes everything. Your life has a through line too. Not the story you tell other people, but the private story you tell yourself in the dark. For some, that story says, "I always disappoint people. I have to be perfect to be accepted. I'll never succeed anyway." Here's why this matters. Your brain is wired to look for evidence that supports what you already believe. If your through line says you're not enough, your brain becomes a filter. It highlights every mistake, every criticism, every rejection, and minimizes anything that contradicts the story. Think of it like a machine on a production floor. If it's programmed incorrectly, it doesn't matter how much raw material you feed it, it will keep producing the same defect. Your mind works the same way. The through line is your programming. It shapes your decisions, your confidence, and your goals. This is what most people call shadow work, examining the roots beneath the surface. It's not the lotus flower above the water, it's the root system underneath. If you want to change the fruit, you have to examine the root. So, how did this story get written? Somewhere in your past, something happened. A harsh criticism, a painful rejection, a moment where you felt invisible, unprotected, or unworthy. But the event itself didn't shape your future. The event was just data. What shaped your future was the meaning you attached to that data. Your mind formed a conclusion to protect you, and you carried that conclusion into adulthood. From that moment on, your brain kept scanning for evidence to prove the old story right. 2 people can experience the same event and walk away with completely different lives. One says, "That process didn't work. I learned something." The other says, "I am a failure." Same event, different meaning, different future. This is where real emotional healing begins, not by ignoring the old story, but by seeing it clearly for the first time. Let's find yours right now. Think about an area where you feel stuck: your health, your finances, your relationships, your purpose. Ask yourself, what pattern keeps repeating? What emotion always shows up? What fear appears right before you give up? Then ask the root cause question. What would I have to believe about myself for this pattern to make sense? That belief, the one that rises to the surface, that's your through line. It might be, "I'm not worthy. I'll be rejected anyway. I can't trust people. I always fail." Don't judge it. Just notice it. You cannot fix a broken process if you refuse to look at the diagnostic data. You cannot change a story you cannot see. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. See the difference? This isn't about working harder. It's about seeing what's actually running the machine. Now that the story is visible, we're going to challenge it using a tool I created, the Belief Audit. Take a blank sheet of paper. Write your through line at the top. On the left side, list 3 pieces of evidence that seem to support it. We're not avoiding the data, we're examining it. Then on the right side, list 3 pieces of evidence that contradict it. For example, if your through line is, I never finish anything, left side, I quit that diet. I dropped that business idea. I don't actually finish projects I start. On the right side, I finished my degree. I bought a house. I've shown up as a provider for my family for years. This isn't a pep talk. This is a data review. You're proving to your own brain that the old belief was never a fact, just a conclusion formed during a painful season. When both sides sit on the same page, the false story loses its authority. This is how you break the pattern. Not with more willpower, with better data. Here's what I want you to remember. You are not your worst moment. You are not the labels someone placed on you. And you are not the false story you've been living out. God designed the human mind with the ability to renew itself. Romans 12:2 states, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Stories can be rewritten. Beliefs can be rebuilt. Lives can be transformed. That's the real identity shift. Not becoming someone new, but finally shedding who you were never meant to be. In engineering, when a system produces the wrong output, we don't blame the machine. We find the root cause. Today, you found yours. You stopped looking at the fruit, and you finally examined the root. If you want to work through this privately, subscribe to my channel and download the free Belief Audit worksheet in the description. Stop running a process that was never yours. Awareness is where healing begins, and healing is where transformation starts.